I just wanted to share with you this morning, a couple things. Our friend Anna has been released from the hospital last Tuesday evening, and she is recuperating at home. Doctor says she is not allowed to drive yet, so she will not be able to attend for a couple more weeks that we know of. So please keep her in your prayers. And Saturday and Sunday was the convention, the Kansas District Convention at Topeka, Kansas. And Saturday morning, we had the business meeting. Part of the business meeting, Mary Griffin, who is the secretary for the state of Kansas district, she and her daughter Katie presented and worked together a slideshow of all the clubs in our district, their accomplishments this past year. And we were surprised that over half of those slides showed Junction City Breakfast Optimist. And I need to let you all know that the new governor, Jacob Schweitzer, kept announcing during the meeting that we are still the only club that have the 2 junior optimists. He challenged the other 3 zone clubs to try and start or charter a club, a junior optimist club this coming year. He also has challenged about giving dictionaries to the 3rd and 4th graders. His club has done this for several years, and he told about the positive outcome about the students using the dictionaries. Then he also, let's see, he talked about a change that's coming along from OI. In September, we usually, Farrell and I fill out this form, pride report, and it's the activities and some of the requirements in order to qualify as an honor club. Well, they've changed that, OI has. And they want the clubs now to enter into the OI website, the activities and the number of volunteer hours, the number of volunteers of the club or community involved, and then photos, of course. They have also changed the format of the pride report that was due in September. It's going to be a little bit simpler, but they're counting on to that pride website from online to get most of the information. So Farrell and I are gonna, next couple of days, we'll go into the website and pull out the pictures and activities that we have done from October of 25 until the present time. And this is just for this year. And they're gonna continue this, I believe, the following year. So I just want to let you know that I was really, really proud about the accomplishments we've done. I think that's great.
And we have a new lieutenant governor designate that was installed on Saturday.
There are 7 clubs in our district, and one of the main purpose of a lieutenant governor is to visit those clubs at least twice a year and to be able to give advice and suggestions to bring them up to what the other clubs are doing. I do know there are 2 or 3 of them that are not conducting activities like a club should be doing. I guess one of them is just doing it for social, just to get together, have fun, that type of thing. I don't know. So I will be, visiting our other clubs besides ours. And I will also be going to other clubs to install their new offices in October. All right, I think that's all the news I have.
All right, can I give an update on programs because I now have September completed?
Okay,
So next week we have Frank Atala. He is going to talk about silver-haired legislature, Kansas. Matt Hoover will be here on the 9th of February to talk about the organization and planning for Oktoberfest. Board meeting on the 16th of September. John Triplett from Junction City Little Theater is coming on the 23rd to talk about how to put together a play, get a cast. He is directing the play Complaint Department and Lemonade. So we'll learn about all that. And then on the 30th of September, we have some future Farmers of America students from Junction City High School coming to practice their speech and their presentation for further competitions during the school.
That same one that came last year, but
That'll be different.
but same
Different topics, yeah.
yeah, I liked it. That was good.
Yeah.
yes. Yes. Okay,
More important.
Ardina, did you want to say something about our,
Did you guys go over last time?
we did. but
Okay, I just told you I'd bring the copies, so
Okay.
everybody has.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Can't get out. Well, this morning, Carol,
Yes, our speaker this morning, and I want to just put a little disclaimer out, Marlies. We have friendly conversations about the two major universities in Kansas. Some of us are K-State and some of us are KU.
Exactly.
And it's
Oh.
always,
Exactly.
it's a friendly rivalry, so I want you to be aware you're a mixed company.
All right.
Marlies is a product of Kansas State University. She played for the Kansas women's basketball team from 2005 to 2009. She was the Big 12 Conference Rookie of the Year, 2005, 2006. 2006-07, played in 16 games before she got injured. She had a 47% field goal average, 57% average at 3-point shots. And the Wildcats that year went 19-15 and were in the Final Four of the Women's Invitation Tournament. More importantly, probably, Marlies has been involved in education as a teacher and administrator. She taught at Sykes Elementary and at Fort Riley and Washington and Junction City. She became an assistant principal of Junction City Middle School and is now the principal of Junction City Middle School. We welcome you to our meeting.
It's just for the record, you
Probably not very well.
Well, I was just gonna start out by saying, I mean, I don't usually keep track of all those stats, but I will say my junior year, we won the Big 12 and we sealed it at KU. So I'll just start with that. We got to celebrate in their
You know the
yes. But yes, Marlies Gipson. Proud to say that I'm officially a Junction City resident. We moved over the summer after making that drive for 14 years. I've spent my entire educational career here in Geary 475. So finally moved here after making that drive, and the best decision ever, just 4 minutes away from the middle school. So it's been very nice. But yeah, I was born in Hayes, Kansas. That's where my grandparents still live. Moved with my mom. I was about 2.5 to McPherson. And just a little thing there. There is no fear in McPherson. So it is, I can't even say it, how some people say it. But McPherson, it was a mecca of sports. So grew up playing basketball, was the biggest sport, but also did volleyball, track, all the youth sports. So very involved with my community members, and everybody loved basketball. And so played throughout, and then had the opportunity to attend K-State and went there all 4 years and played under Coach Deb Patterson, who was still very connected to, and a handful of my teammates as well. Every except for 2 summers ago, every July we get together, and we did that again this July just to stay up with one another. And it's like picking up the ball again, and just love being connected and watching their families grow and having that opportunity. And many of us are, in the fields that serve others. So we are all on the same page there and just catching up. But for my teaching career, like Dr. Miller said, I spent 8 years at Sites Elementary, and I was a 4th grade teacher. I had the opportunity to open that school in 2012 and stuck through, and I guess that would have been the year of COVID, would have been my last year teaching there. And then I moved to Washington and got to work with you, Bobby, for a year, and taught 4th grade there as well. And then the opportunity came for Junction City Middle School to open, and I became assistant principal, and spent 3 years as an AP. And now I'm currently in my 3rd year as head principal, and this is my 15th year in education. So as far as Junction City Middle School, this is now my 6th year, have grown so much. I love the message and the meaning behind this club, is giving back to youth, because I think it is very important in our community of Junction to pour into our students. Not only are they our future, but just, giving them opportunities in a small town in Kansas that some, big city kids may not get. So I really appreciate that. We are a Title I building, and have been since I've been there. Fluctuate. We're under 900 now, but roughly 900 students, and about 300 per 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We have, within each grade, we have 3 teams. So we run a team model. We were fortunate this school year to lower our class sizes, with at-risk funds, able to add 4 core teachers. And so that has shown benefits already, just lowering those class sizes, which is important for our students. So some things we're very proud of, obviously our students, just pouring into them and recognizing all the positive that they do, whether that be, obviously attendance, behavior, classwork. So a big thing we're pouring in to our students is our positive behavior interventions and supports, which under that, I know in years past, Junction City Middle School has done what's called like a Renaissance card. We're connecting it to our guidelines for success, which is pride. Students are purposeful in their actions, respectful to everyone they encounter, inclusive, making sure everyone is a part of the JCMS family, a dynamic, upbeat, positive attitude about their learning, and engaged in their learning. So they're prepared for class, listening to adults, following directions, and completing their assignments. So with that, teachers in all grades are adding expectations, and they can earn a gold, silver, or a blue card. At blue, adding in one of our school colors, just to recognize our students, that are doing what they're supposed to. I would say, in years past, and people have a view of Junction City Middle School, and I pour into my staff every single year that we know what we're doing here. There's always, growing up in athletics, there's always going to be people that are talking and, focusing on the one negative that they hear. So I would just encourage people to just remember, these are our kids that are going to this school, and they're middle schoolers. They are going to make a poor choice one day and learn from their mistakes, and we're going to help them. That's a part of it. We were all middle schoolers once. It is a beast of an age group, and our goal is just to help them learn from their mistakes and not hold it against them, but to allow them to grow just like we would expect as an adult when we make mistakes. So I'm very excited about that. With those pride cards, we have different incentives that students can earn. We also do semester incentives that also include those ABCs, is what I call it. And I think the attendance piece sometimes is hard for parents. Sometimes it's appointments, or sometimes it is an excuse, which is great. But at the end of the day, if you're not in school, you are not learning. And it is great that they can still, have achieving grades. Not every student can do that. And so we're going to continue to hold students and families to high attendance, because we know education is the key to the future, and being in the seat in class is how we get that. So, but I'm free to answer any questions that you may have. Throw them at me.
How's the cell phones for you guys?
Yes, we are, the high school, they gave their pouch first day and I was like, oh my gosh. We are getting our pouches out finally this week. We've had kind of a slow rollout with technology, but we've gotten that all out. And, for us, it's the only thing different is adding the pouch. The expectation has been students are to keep their cell phone in their locker all day. So now we're just adding the inaccessible piece, which is the pouch. And they've been asking me every day, when are we getting it? When are we getting it? I said, I got to get you your computers first because, education, we got to make sure your teachers can have that tool. But we got them out finally to 8th grade, 7th grade today, 6th grade. So by Friday, but they know it's supposed to be in their book bag until then. So I don't think it's much different. I think what's going to happen is they're going to get annoyed with the process and just leave everything at home, which is fine. If they need to reach their families, we will never deny a student from making a call home. Obviously, we want to try and help them first. So we might ask, hey, is there something I can help? Not, we're going to let them call their families and guardians.
So describe the pouches. Are they on the wall when they come in, or?
Each student has an individual pouch, and there's a magnet there's a pin that goes from one side to the other that keeps it closed. To unlock it, then there's magnets. There are some that you can attach to the wall, but we have some, they're just on carts. And so when students come in, their pouch is always going to be locked, whether there's something in it or not. So the pin does not get bent and parents don't get a damaged fine. So they'll unlock their pouch, they'll walk in through our weapons detection, which we've got that flow down. So now we're just adding a little piece to it. They'll walk through. They'll then show whoever's at the end that they're putting their item in there, they'll lock it, and you can kind of see when it closes, if there's any green showing on the button, that we know it's not locked. And then they'll keep their pouch in their book bag, which will go in their locker for the entire day. And then on the way out, they'll get their pouch out, they'll have it out in their hand, ready to go, because we want to be quick and efficient getting buses out. And they'll unlock it with that same magnet that they did in the morning, get their items out, lock it back up, and put the empty pouch in their book bag for the next day.
So
Did you get your cards?
Yes, we got our cards. Thank you.
How do the kids feel about the school lunch?
They love them. They love them. It's a lot more options. Adults I know are purchasing. We got to try some things the first day of school. So just the amount of options, and every morning I do announcements, and it's a lot more for me to say on there, but they're very excited. I think the most popular, of course, is pizza. When I think back to my middle school days, I was probably eating a slice of pizza every day for lunch too. So.
Is this a good old school sheet pizza?
Oh yeah, it's a nice size. Yep.
Marlies, how was it from going from grade school to middle school? I mean, what was the transfer? Just for you.
Their middle school kids are just they're still kids. I feel that I connected to them well. I had a feeling that I would. I coached Fort Riley, middle school for 5 years, girls basketball, while I taught. So that I felt a connection, and obviously doing basketball, did summer camps with different ages of students my entire basketball career. So I've always known I wanted to be in education. My mom is a teacher, so that was what I knew growing up. But ultimately, middle schoolers, they're more hormonal, but they just want to be heard. And I can always give a listening ear. I always tell them, I'm not going to necessarily agree with you on everything, but I'm going to hear you out, and I'm going to offer advice, and I'm going to be cheering for you and continue. I might not pull you into my office, but I'm always watching and seeing that you're adding positivity to our building.
Such a unique time. I was joking with Dr. Miller. School performance, whether it's band or honor society or whatever else, the prepubescent to the shaving.
Yes.
I mean, just there's so much change that happens in that 3 years. And you just see that everything you go through at every grade, but that's just such a tumultuous time. It's just
middle school, I feel they start to identify who they are, and try different friend groups and clothing styles or interests. So I think it's important we let them do that. You know, when we're noticing maybe they aren't making positive choices for themselves, encouraging them and kind of connecting it to future.
I have the privilege of being able to talk to, I should have the privilege of being able to talk to my wife about things, but she won't say anything about school. So that's just off limits. We only discuss it. But I did the Boys and Girls Club for a long time. And so you still are getting some of the kids that were under me. And whenever I see them, they always tell me what's going on in their world in the middle school, all that kind of stuff. And they've expressed to me that it's such a much nicer culture now. So I'm going to say something to you that you don't get to hear very much. You're doing a good job. You changed the culture, and kids are more comfortable and they feel safe. So I'm saying that to you because I feel like, you know, the kids feel like you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
So I brought you up so that I can ask you this tough question.
Yeah, no problem.
And this is a tough one.
Yeah.
But I'm fired at you anyway. So,
Okay.
Like you, I coach kids in sports and stuff. Coach AAU and all that stuff. 10 years from now, do you see there being middle school sports? I mean, because everything now is a traveling team. They're taking all the best kids from every town, you know, and they're making traveling teams and stuff. And it's hard for me to go to the middle school and watch a game because it's like watching an intramural or YMCA game, you know. It's not even competitive. Where do you see middle school sports in 10 years?
I think it'll still be there, and I hope it is. Obviously, the world of sports has changed a lot, and just myself being from McPherson, I grew up playing 5th grade on with those same players, my teammates. And I think as a community, that's where we struggle. You know, coaching at Fort Riley, I won 6 games in my 5 years, coming from my career at K-State to that. That was a humbling experience. I think middle school is where we try it out before we get to the big stage, which high school, I think we pour too much into that and too much pressure on students, I think, and athletes right now. Not everybody's going to go play in college.
So you played in the McPherson system, huh?
I played in the McPherson system, yeah. And Ashley Sweat, if you followed K-State basketball, she was my teammate. She was in 4th grade, 5th grade. We played all the way through, and she joined me at K-State as well. So
that community has a wonderful farm system for kids.
Yep, yeah. So I think that's where we struggle. I know Junction City Little Jays for football, we're pouring into that, but I haven't really seen a lot of other sports. We have the club, like you mentioned, but at the end of the day, Scott Schaefer, who was my coach at McPherson, when I joined AAU, it was after my sophomore year, he essentially said, yeah, you're going to do that, but you're going to continue to pour into your school community, because at the end of the day, that's who you're living with at school. I think that is what builds that grit, working together with those same people that you learn with, not often on and off the court. So I hope middle school sports is still here, because I think it's the fundamental piece. But I do understand it is difficult, coming to our middle school sports, because I think they just haven't had that exposure playing along with each other when elementary school, like most of these communities around us.
Well, I get that concern because you look at Manhattan, they built basically a sports complex at both of their middle schools.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they're doing what McPherson's been doing for 40 years.
And I would be open to adding that to the middle school.
Yeah. It's building a farm system, and I'm concerned that we're not doing that. I'm also even more concerned now because of all the cutbacks. How are you going to be able to compete? And like you said, sports has completely changed. Now if you get a scholarship, you could graduate from college and be a millionaire.
Yeah.
And not even have to play professional sports.
Yeah.
So
and
I missed out on that.
I'm not sad that, I mean, they could slide me a little cash, that'd be okay, but, I'm not sad that I missed that because, you know, I think about my team and, you know, just thinking to just have that piece that would drive a wedge, you know,
Right.
we're doing all the same workouts. We're going to the same community events with fans, you know, putting in the same time, but you're getting this much more money for me or just go like not making it about of the experience of like those are I don't have any sisters. I have 4 younger brothers, but those are my sisters. I joke that I went to a sorority in college, but it was just a different type with my basketball team. So I couldn't imagine. I mean, we know money is a contentious thing.
Yeah.
We know that just in our district with, you know, budget constraints this year.
I just think it's so important that kids have
Yes.
that opportunity. And, you know, everybody says, well, James, you know, you've been in the district all this time. So what do you see as a problem with discipline for the middle school? It was getting a bad rep. And
Yeah.
It really didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I think the hardest part, this is just my opinion, for kids once they go to middle school, is they don't have recess anymore. There's not that time to release and go wild for 20 minutes. You know,
They need that. I mean, some get to take PE and strength as an elective, which is good. But yeah, they're like I said, they're still kids.
yeah.
They still
just
so
don't
much
have that
energy.
outlet.
There's so much energy.
And most of the, I hate to say it like this, but most of the kids that are problem kids or whatever, they just need that outlet. And once you get that outlet or you make that connection like you talked about with them, then they fall into line like everybody else. And I'm just really concerned where we're headed as a nation. Just talking about Junction City Middle School with sports and stuff because we're not giving kids that outlet anymore.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that pressure can come from parents. I mean, my parents didn't put any pressure on me. They wanted me to, I mean, have a good time and grow. But at the end of the day, sports is more than putting a ball in a hoop and, you know, scoring a touchdown. And I think that's where our focus is, you know, on the points, on the production on the court, where it should be the production in life as a human being. You know, are you carrying yourself to be a model for that team? Are you making right choices? If you aren't, are you, you know, apologizing when you need to and changing your behavior? So I think that's what we've turned it into is just, are you that elite player?
Marlies, do you see, and I know the new sport now for girls is flag football.
Yeah.
Do you see that coming to the middle school soon?
I would love to. I saw, who was it around? It might have been Hampton or Wamigo. Someone
Yeah.
had it. I saw.
Yeah, it was.
Wamigo. Okay, yes. I mean, flag football was one of the first sports I played. And I mean, I played everything, and that was something I grew up playing at recess, be the only girl out there. So again, just another opportunity for girls, and there's not a boy sport and a girl sport. So I love that girls are getting another opportunity. So yep, I would love to talk to our AD, Mr. Moneypenny, see if we could get that going down the line.
I know that the NFL sponsors teams for kids, you know, they'll give you the flag.
Yep.
Like I said, when I was coaching, I started out with boys teams, and eventually I went to girls because they were smarter.
I'm biased, but yeah.
And here's the other thing, and he was bragging about your stats. Well, your stats, that doesn't impress me because I'll be the first one in this room to say that girls shoot better than guys. That's been going on 25, 30 years. They're naturally better shooters, you know, and they can make free throws. So, you know, it's just opportunity. You have to give kids opportunities. And I think you guys are doing a really good job at the middle school. Not that it wasn't before, but I just, you know, half of reaching the kid is to have somebody to look up to. To your background, you know, you can always say, well, you know, if you don't want to behave in class, you beat me one-on-one. Then, you know.
Yes, it's kind of selfish. I do like to ask, do you like basketball? Okay, well, would you like to earn going to shoot some hoops with me? So, no, it is.
It's a nice background.
Yes, yeah. And every year we do a or every year I've been there, a staff or student basketball game. And so I said, I turned 40 in January. So I had said that, when I turn 40, I don't know, but I have to put on my ankle braces. I have to put on my knee braces. I'm too busy and I cannot go through rehab again. So.
It gets worse. You gotta warm up before you get out.
Oh, yeah. Yes. They joke with me, but so you'll get it one day. You will get it.
Well, the kids say you're doing well.
Thank you. They are doing
Marlies, you've seen the list of organizations that we give money to, we sponsor.
Yes.
There are no connections that we have with the middle school at this point. Can you think of some way that we might help you?
I think just like I talked about with our pride incentives, with our PBIS, every month teachers nominate students that meet our pride PRIDE and then overall. So they get a certificate and earn an incentive for that. Also our semester incentives where we've gone to Spend City the past 2 years, and Lauren Davis, one of our PE teachers, always gets that set up for us. And then we went to Rolling Hills Zoo, which I was very surprised to see middle schoolers were so excited to go to a zoo, because I know as a 4th grade teacher, I took them to the zoo. So they've been, but again, it's just getting out of the community and seeing the world. So my hope would just be to pour those positive incentives into students, because majority of our students are doing what they're supposed to do.
Is there a specific fund? Is there for this?
Yeah, student incentives fund our SBA account.
Do you get
Yes.
donations?
Yes, we do. Yep. And then our parent support team helps us with that as well, which is like our PTO. Yeah.
So a donation would hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Any other questions? Was Kelly Moylan?
Yeah, she was. She would have been definitely my junior and senior. I can't remember if it was my sophomore year as well. But yeah, she was on staff when I played.
She taught PE at
Yep.
the middle school, and then she left, went to K-State, and then I lost track of her. Then I discovered her again. I think she's at Anthony Horizon.
Yeah, she had also went to when Deb Patterson and Cami Etheridge, who was the associate head coach at K-State when I played, they went to Northern Colorado for a few years, and she followed them there. Yep. But yep, she's back in Manhattan. I run into her every once in a while at K-State football games or just out and about.
Good lady.
Yes, she is.
Other questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we close up, we have a raffle